What's up, guys? It's me, Alan. I'm back with another video, and I'm back with another NASCAR Diecast review. Another diecast I picked up recently from Circuit Diecast. Make sure to use code ANJJ for free shipping on orders of $20 or more at Circuit Diecast, as always. And I know this diecast will make a buddy of mine happy, that being Ninja Chris, because this is Kurt Busch's 2021 AdventHealth Chevy for the defunct Chip Ganassi Racing. Or I guess I should say Chip Ganassi Racing, which is now Trackhouse Racing since they got bought out. But anyway, let's go ahead, get the diecast out of the box, and get on with the review. It's been a while since I've done a Kurt Busch diecast review, so I figured I saw it was available. I was like, all right, cool, I'll get it. Why not? You know. And there, of course, is the diecast out of the box. Now, of course, with Kurt Busch diecasts, it's kind of hard to get them made because, you know, Monster Energy and all that. But there's a little bit of excess decal there. But it is still nice to see. The windshield's a little bit loose, just a wee bit. And what the hell is the font on the back windshield there? Because compare that to like the Priest diecast I just reviewed. That's not the same font, bruh. Or I mean, it kind of looks like it, but it looks weird. Like it's not as bold as the other one is, which is kind of weird. And also, the one on this side is a little bit slanted and a little bit too high up. That one looks just right. And why is it always that with the one on the roof, it looks farther back than it should? Like it always looks weird to me. Like if you look at a Jamie McMurray diecast from like what 2018 or so, 2018, 2019, or 2017, 2018, something like that. The one always looks too far back on the roof. I don't understand why. But anyway, so Kurt Busch. Of course, last year he was with Chip Ganassi Racing. That AdventHealth logo looks a little off to the right or left, depending on how you're looking at it, and a little bit too low. Of course, he got his as per usual, one win a year at Atlanta. Unfortunately, had to bow out early in the playoffs, but he made it there, and now he's running the 45 for 23XI alongside Bo Wallace. Both drivers have seemingly had a pretty good year so far through the first 3 races or so. For Kurt, it's nice to see him go over there because now he's got, because now Bo Wallace has somebody to work off of, and I think they both can do really well. I mean, Bo Wallace came very fucking close to winning the Daytona 500 this year. And you'd have to think Kurt's probably going to get his one win a year at some point, somewhere. Just depends on where and in what situation. And I definitely think Kurt can get back to the playoffs. Bubba potentially. But the thing with Kurt, and I have the same thought regarding Kyle Busch, his brother, is when are the Busch brothers going to hang it up and call it a day? Like, I think when Kurt retires, he'll probably just be retired. When Kyle retires, he'll probably be done with Cup. He's already done with Xfinity. Like I said in the Carson Hocevar review, maybe he goes down to trucks and runs runs for a year or two full time down there to win himself a truck championship, which he hasn't done yet. I think that'd be cool. But the Busch brothers, it's crazy to think that they've been doing this for so freaking long. Kurt was the first ever, Chase, champion under the Chase format. Kyle's obviously got two championships of his own. Kurt's been through has been through fucking hell and back in his career. It's crazy to think. Like, I've seen people point it out on Twitter. Kurt used to be so hated, and he used to be one of the most, I don't want to say evil guys in the garage, but the better term for it would be one of the biggest bad guys, quote unquote. If you want to use wrestling terms, a heel, in the garage when it comes to NASCAR. for like the longest time. And then, you had all the off-track shit, some of the other shit that's happened with him. And, he's gone through lows in his career. Phoenix Racing, that's literally all I have to say. Phoenix Racing is probably the lowest point of his career, I would argue, in terms of teams he's raced for and all that shit. And especially at that time. But the thing about him is, over time, he's turned himself around. And again, if you want to use wrestling terms, he's looked at more as a babyface these days. He's a likable guy. He's one of the most liked guys in the Cup Series, in NASCAR in general, which is crazy to think about. Like, if you were to go back, if you were to tell, like, say, 2004 Kurt Busch from, like, the early 2000s, everything that would happen to him the rest of his career up to this point, that would just be fucking crazy. Like, I feel like Kurt Busch deserves an ESPN 30 for 30 episode made on him. Probably a two-parter, like you do the Busch brothers, Kurt in the first one, Kyle in the second one. Why not? I mean, we've never gotten a NASCAR 30 for 30 before, I don't believe. And it would be a crazy story to talk about because, again, they've both been through a lot. Kurt has had, a bunch of lows, away from the track. Kyle, obviously, with his leg injuries, years ago, and all that shit. And then not even just with that, but also you have his wife Samantha, and the struggles that she has had with giving birth. Obviously, they have Braxton, and I think they have another child on the way, if I'm not mistaken. But that hasn't come without its struggles for her. So, like, when you look at it as a whole, there legitimately needs to be a documentary or an ESPN 30 for 30 or something made on the Busch brothers, because they have probably one of the craziest, career stories, career arcs, if you will, in terms of the Cup Series. Like, Kyle is still looked at as a bit of a bad guy because he still runs his mouth. I mean, look what happened last week in his rant after the race at Vegas. But, Kyle, he's been one of those guys that NASCAR, he's like the last of a sort of, I don't want to say dying breed, but, like, he's one of the few that will wear the black hat these days. And you can kind of see some people, some others kind of doing that. I think Noah Gragson's probably the biggest example. Maybe there's a few others, on the lowest of key. But Kyle's the most noted. And when he retires, that's going to be a big hole left behind in the Cup Series and in NASCAR, for everything that he's done. And then Kurt, to the same extent. But again, great paint scheme. I can't wait to see how the rest of the season goes for the both of them. I really do. But with all that said, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down below. And I'll catch you all next time. Make sure you use code ANJJ for free shipping on orders of $20 or more at NASCAR Diecast. Peace.